Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about Citizen Vigilante, a recently released film from Uwe Boll that is nevertheless taking the #1 spot on Amazon right now, after getting promoted by the likes of people such as Elon Musk and Alex Jones. The film itself is about a citizen deciding to take the law into his own hands due to a bunch of economic migrants deciding to commit absolute atrocities that the authorities decide to let go unpunished because of their status as economic migrants. As a result, the film has been banned in Uwe Boll's native Germany, and this, combined with the aforementioned promotion from the likes of Elon Musk and Alex Jones, has resulted in its popularity. Now, I need to be very clear here that this is not a film that I have personally seen yet, and I've also already heard that it's not exactly a very good film from those who have stated that they've seen it. Uwe Boll himself has not exactly the best reputation. In fact, as far as the film industry is concerned, his name tends to be brought up in the same vein as Steven Seagal or Ed Wood, and he's also notoriously unreceptive to criticism. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to watch a film just because of its political message, especially if the film isn't exactly good from the get-go. Though I will say I have seen other people say that they have enjoyed watching the film as they understood it wasn't exactly a masterpiece in the first place, and went in with those expectations. Instead, though, I do believe there is something more interesting to discuss about this film once we start looking at the bigger picture. Let's assume that this film actually becomes a massive success, the way that at least right now it looks like it may become. Imagine that kind of world, where Uwe Boll, of all people, the Ed Wood of our era, ends up upstaging all of Hollywood, despite the micro budget of his film, despite the fact that it's an Uwe Boll film, despite the overall mediocre quality of the film. All because of how thoroughly people detest the establishment at this point. How tired they are at the entertainment industry forcefully inserting far leftist propaganda into every single piece of media they could for the past decade. How enraged they are at their own governments for not only failing to listen to them, but outright working against them in so many cases. And how utterly disgusted they are at certain governments such as the UK allowing the second Nanking to happen within their borders, and with the tacit approval of the UK government at that. Such is the world we see now. And in that world where people have been so thoroughly starved of films that point out this blatant injustice and often outright high treason by governments against their own people, that so many are willing to accept with open arms this mediocre film by Uwe Boll over the best that Hollywood can provide. Well, that at this point is the ultimate damning statement for how thoroughly the establishment has failed. How incapable they are of brainwashing their own citizens the way they thought was not only possible, but their very destiny to do. It is also a stark testament to just how far the entertainment industry has fallen when even Uwe Boll can do better financially speaking than the rest of Hollywood can. Because yes, Uwe Boll films have a reputation for being mediocre, and this film does not appear to be an exception to that. However, the exact same thing can be said of most Hollywood slop that has also been produced in the past decade. As such, this rise for Uwe Boll, should it be the case, becomes all the more damning for the state of affairs when it comes to the establishment. One can only truly wonder the possible precedent this may set, should Uwe Boll actually manage to pull all this off, financially speaking at the very least, and be the underdog upset of the year. If ever there would be a wake-up call for the entertainment industry, it would be exactly that. The idea that even Uwe Boll can make a mockery out of them. And let us not forget that wokeness is already on the decline. It is going to take years for it to be rooted out of our institutions, but the process has no doubt begun. And above all, any success that Uwe Boll may have with this film would ultimately serve to accelerate that. At the end of the day, that's a good thing. Even if I don't believe the film is good, and even if I don't recommend that you watch it, I do support the overall end result of ending wokeness faster. And in that specific capacity, I do kind of want to see this film succeed. It would serve as the ultimate middle finger to Hollywood, and to the message that Hollywood has pushed these many long years.